Two of the best words in the English language put together. Happy Friday. It's a pretty good sentence, isn't it? It is Friday, 20th day of October, 2023. I am Dan Kuntz, and this is Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. It is quite mild. It is 52 outside of our studios. Yesterday at this time when we visited, we started out at 42 degrees, and we eventually worked our way up to 70 degrees, and we're going to be into the 70s again today, have a chance to break a record high temperature. A number of locations in eastern Washington did just that yesterday. Spokane had a new record high, as did Pullman. Ephrata tied a record high, pretty close in Moses Lake as well. Going to be very mild for 2 more days. This is the last day of bountiful sunshine. We're at the very northern edge of a big high-pressure ridge that's down below us, basically at the Oregon-California border, so at the very top of that. It's going to start to flatten out. It's going to allow another system to come in over the weekend. The real big dramatic changes for Mother Nature is not going to happen until next week, but the Climate Prediction Center issued their long-term forecast for November, December, and January on what they are predicting to be a strong El Nino year. We shall see, but they're pretty good at this stuff. All those details are coming up. There is a lot of news. There is a lot of sports. Kraken finally won. When you score 7 goals in a game, you're supposed to win. They did. We have a full slate of high school football tonight. It's Friday night, and it's October. That's what you're going to get. Our camera is going to be at Leib Field at the Apple Bowl. It is Wenatchee Panthers homecoming, taking on the Sunnyside Grizzlies. So if you can't make it to Leib Field at the Apple Bowl, and if you're an alumnus of Wenatchee High School, you're supposed to go to homecoming. That's the whole idea. In any event, we'll have it for you here in high-definition quality and monophonic sound at 6:30 tonight. It's going to be a busy Friday, going to be a good Friday. Let's go. Oh, back half the program, Joel Myrene, the guy who's putting on the Apple Valley Record Expo, the second one, which is tomorrow here in town. I will be there. I'm not going to miss that. We're going to give you one more reminder for you vinyl junkies out there. You might pick up a record or two if you so desire. Joel will tell you all about that. Now we can begin our tour around the valley in north central Washington. Although it's not quite sunrise and won't be for a while, we have enough light for our camera at the end of Wenatchee Heights to go to color. Sunrise this morning will be at 7:26, sunset this evening, 6:04. 10 hours and 38 minutes of daylight. Keep losing about 2.5 minutes of daylight today. And you see a few high clouds out there, and we're going to see a few of those today, but it's also going to be very, very mild for what is now late October, I suppose. Cougar Ridge will stay with the Wenatchee Valley, and it's not quite, I guess it's kind of switching the color. That's Cougar Ridge. That's the traffic on the Odobashan Bridge heading on up to Sunset Highway. Across the way is Omi Gardens, Stamilt, the old station area off to Sleepy Hollow and Sunny Slope from our Cougar Ridge camera. Traffic is looking pretty good on this Friday. Let's set up to Lake Chelan from our Lower Butte camera. We have 2 cameras on the Chelan Butte, one at the very, very top of it at about 4,200 feet above sea level, and one it's closer to town, and it's about 700 to 800 feet lower in elevation. We have that pointed up towards Wapato Point and Lake Chelan. Good morning to the lake. Good to see you. When do they start draining the bathtub? Has that started yet? I don't know. I haven't been up there for a while. And the Arundel Rock camera. Lake Aniat checks in, not quite up to color snuff yet. Pretty light traffic. Hello, Rocky Reach Dam. Hello to the Wenatchee Valley way off into the distance, and Turtle Rock from our Arundel Rock camera. I don't think there's actually a thing called Arundel Rock. If there is, it's news to me. All right, I teased you with this a little while ago. Here it is. This came out yesterday. The seasonal temperature outlook. This is for November, December, and January. And take a look at where we live. And as you can see, for November, December, and January, they are predicting a 50 to 60% chance of above normal temperatures. Now, the last time we had an El Nino was the winter of 2018-2019, but it wasn't a strong El Nino. It was slightly warmer and slightly drier than normal that winter. The last strong El Nino, which is the one we're expecting this year, was in 2015-2016. That winter, it was very mild. We set record high temperatures throughout that winter in November and December. We had very little snow, too, back in 2015-2016. So that is the long-term temperature outlook. This is the long-term precipitation outlook. And as you can see, we have about a 40 to 50% chance of below normal precipitation for November, December, and January. So it is absolutely shaping up to be a strong El Nino year like it was in 2015 and 2016. If you remember that, we're going to repeat it again. It certainly looks that way as we start getting into the winter season. That's from the Climate Prediction Center, the folks who handle these things. Let's stay a little, well, more contemporary. How about the forecast? 69 today, they tell us. I think we're going to be warmer than that just because we're 10 degrees warmer now than we were yesterday. For reference point, our record high temperature on October 20th was 70 degrees. That was set back in 2013. I think we're going to get it. I think we're going to get it. But the clouds will be thickening up as the evening progresses. In fact, by tonight, we'll have mostly cloudy skies and 52 degrees. Clouds all day Saturday. Very little chance of rain, but it is going to be cloudy. High clouds, high to mid-level clouds. And we're still going to be very warm with a high of 70. Our normal high is 59. As you can see, our overnight low Saturday into Sunday is going to be closer to where our afternoon high is supposed to be. That's how unseasonably warm it's going to be. So we're going to cool down a little bit on Sunday. Still quite a bit of cloud cover. Again, high clouds and some mid-level clouds, nothing low. And then Monday, still some clouds mixed with some sun, a high of 65. But then the system starts barreling in. It's going to roll in Monday night, and it's going to be here by Tuesday afternoon with a chance of rain, lots of clouds, a lot cooler. High of 57, closer to normal by the time we get to Tuesday. Cooler still on Wednesday with a chance of rain, and fairly active and a lot cooler. Look at the big temperature variation between our forecast high on Thursday and our forecast high today and tomorrow. It's going to drop lower than a gopher's basement by the time we get to Thursday. All right, that's your forecast. It's 7 minutes after the hour. Grab a cup of coffee, come right back. We'll do the news. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
We're turning up the heat with the hottest deals of the year. Right now, during the hot summer clearance sale, only at Click It RV. #1 in sales and service. The best RV brands. Over 1,000 to choose from. And the best deals of the year on remaining 2023 model year-end clearance with incredible 30% off. Brand new RVs discounted up to 30%. Save thousands. Plus, no payments until 2024. During the hot summer clearance sale, now only at Click It RV. 5 superstore locations. Hurry in today.
At Confluence Health, our mission is clear: to provide exceptional care for our community. We believe in healthcare that's personal and local because we're just like you, members of this great community.
We are Confluence.
Local care by and for our community.
Local care by and for our community.
Local care by and for our community.
We are Confluence.
Hi, this is Frank Kuntz, Mayor of the City of Wenatchee. Mike Poyer will make a great mayor. Mike is consistent, he's thoughtful, he shows up, he's prepared, and he always gets to the right answer. Mike just loves this town. He was born and raised here. He has a passion for making this place better, as we all do. And it's been a pleasure working with him on Wenatchee City Council for the past 4 years, and I just look forward to having him lead our city going forward. So join me in voting for Mike Poyer, Mayor.
Welcome to the Columbia Basin Dispute Resolution Center. We are a local nonprofit serving Grant and Adams counties, helping businesses and people resolve difficult issues so they can move toward a better future. We offer help with workplace disputes, residential issues, family matters, and can train your staff in conflict prevention and resolution skills. Call us at 509-237-8401 to learn more.
Few high clouds, a very mild 52 degrees, a possible record-breaking high this afternoon. Still very warm temperatures, but less sunshine expected on Saturday and Sunday, and a very cool and unsettled week next week, but it's still going to be very warm for the next 3.5 days. It's 9 minutes after the hour. Commissioners with Wenatchee Valley Fire Department, they're taking issue with a candidate for Wenatchee mayor for appearing to use an image of a fire truck in his campaign material. In early October, Brian Campbell posted a photo of himself on fire department property standing next to a department vehicle wearing a campaign pin. One fire commissioner asked him to remove it, saying it could be interpreted as an endorsement. Campbell complied, but then on October 13th, he posted a new version of the photo with the department logo painted out. A statement issued by the Wenatchee Valley Fire Department yesterday doesn't mention Campbell by name, But it says, and I'm quoting now, the Wenatchee Valley Fire Department does not support candidates for local office and remains neutral with regards to endorsements, end quote. Campbell, of course, is running against Mike Poyer for mayor of Wenatchee. Voting begins this week. In fact, you may have gotten your ballot already. I got mine in the mailbox yesterday, so you'll get yours if you haven't already in the next day or so for the November 7th general election. It's the first time members of the Wenatchee School Board will be elected from individual districts, and the first time the Wenatchee mayor's seat has been up for grabs since 2011. It's an open seat. Incumbent Frank Kuntz not running for a fourth term. NCW Life has spent the last several weeks interviewing candidates, and starting Sunday, you can watch those interviews. Our interviews with Wenatchee's two candidates for mayor will air Sunday morning at 8 a.m. The race for mayor of Chelan and Leavenworth will air at 3 p.m. All 6 school board candidates, those interviews will start at 6:30 p.m. and those interviews will be repeated throughout the next 3 weeks. And you can find extended conversations with the candidates on our website, ncwlife.com. So watch right here, make an educated choice, and get your ballot in. Again, General Election Day is Tuesday, November 7th. Chelan County Sheriff's deputies say a Cashmere High School student made a threat at a school event on Wednesday evening during some sort of event at the school. Details are sketchy. What we do know is this. The 17-year-old suspect allegedly voiced the threat to another female student and told her she would be the first to be shot. The witness contacted Cashmere High School Principal Craig McKenzie, who called the sheriff's office just before 8 p.m. on Wednesday night. Deputies did not disclose the name of the suspect, who was arrested later at home. They say there's no reason to believe any ongoing threat exists for students or the public. The Moses Lake Man has been identified as the person found deceased early Saturday morning in rural Ephrata. Grant County Coroner Craig Morrison says he is 28-year-old Elliot Sage. Sage's body was discovered by a passing motorist at about 2:30 in the morning last Saturday, lying in the middle of Sheep Canyon Road near Road E Northwest. Investigators say they're still looking into the cause and manner of Sage's death, and laboratory test results are pending. However, no foul play is expected. Wenatchee's ambitious Confluence Parkway project has passed a major, significant hurdle with the Federal Highway Administration. Last month, the Federal Highway Administration issued a finding of no significant impact for the planned $134 million north-south bypass, meaning it sees no environmental or legal hurdles under federal law that would hamper the project. The new 2-lane arterial street would run from the intersection of North Miller and North Wenatchee Avenue, extend to a new bridge across the Wenatchee River. The FHA says Confluence Parkway would not pose any environmental or endangered species risks, even though it does cut across parts of the Confluence State Park, the Apple Capital Recreational Loop Trail, and the Horan Natural Area. Commercial properties likely to be condemned under the plan include the Denny's restaurant, the Igloo Tavern across the street, and 2 gas stations, one operating and one not. Construction is likely to begin in 2025. And finally, the Chelan County Regional Justice Center has a new partner, a new 4-legged team member, K9 Gambit. There's Gambit. Gambit's a 3-year-old Border Collie mix, joins handler Deputy Jacob Lewis to assume the role previously held by Kate. Of course, Kate passed away in August after suffering from a liver condition. Gambit, who Lewis describes as energetic and driven in a press release, has been identified as a possible candidate to replace Kate before Kate died. In fact, he even met her before she took on the job. Drug detecting Gambit has been at work at the jail for about a month now, and in that time has found drugs at the jail, including fentanyl. Already off to a good start. Go get them. That's the news. At 14 minutes after the hour, one more newscast to get your weekend going. At 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 10 o'clock on TV. That 10 o'clock in the evening broadcast might be delayed a little bit depending on how long the football game goes, but 5, 6, and 10 on TV, also available at 5 o'clock each weeknight on our Facebook page, on our YouTube page, and on our homepage, ncwlife.com, and give us a call, or better yet, send us an email if there's something out there that you think warrants our attention. News at ncwlife.com. A whole bunch of sports because it's Friday and it's October. That's what it is. It's next. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
Crystal's Intimate Lounge in downtown Leavenworth is a wonderful place to enjoy mouth-watering appetizers and drinks while socializing, watching sports, playing bingo, pull tabs, or simply relaxing while enjoying the breathtaking mountain views. Crystal's family-friendly restaurant has a warm environment to enhance your dining experience, serving breakfast, lunch, and dinner 7 days a week. Crystal's restaurant, lounge, and event space is located 2 blocks west of downtown Leavenworth on Highway 2.
This is Grace, and this is her world record-holding guinea pig with an iconic name, Abby.
She currently holds the Guinness World Record for the highest bar jump by a guinea pig. I ride horses and I jump, so I kind of thought it'd be interesting to teach my guinea pig to jump like my horse does.
One day she came out of her room and looked at us, and I said, "Did you get it?" And she said, "Yeah, we got it."
After we won our award, we came to Abby's to celebrate.
Hey, welcome back to Save Mart. What can we help you find today?
We're looking for a mattress.
Oh, right this way. We got a large selection. We have this pillow top here.
Oh, comfortable.
We have more to choose from down here.
Oh.
I think I have the perfect one over here for you.
I guess we'll take this one.
You'll find it at Save Mart. Full service at a low, low price.
17 minutes after the hour, the Wenatchee Panther girls volleyball team wants to trophy its state this year. They did so last year, and a huge confidence boost for these young ladies. They beat Lake Stevens and beat them good. Now, Lake Stevens was second in the state 4A tournament last year. The Panthers finished third. The Panthers, who were sixth in the latest RPI poll, dismantled the Lake Stevens Vikings, winning in straight sets in volleyball. Other volleyball action from our friends at Les Schwab. Davis topped Moses Lake, Ephrata swept East Valley, and Chelan and Omak were straight set victors. For the smaller schools, in straight sets, Lake Roosevelt, Liberty Bell, Manson, Orville, and Wilson Creek. It took 5 sets for Aniat to beat Soap Lake. Coming up on the volleyball schedule tomorrow is Quincy hosting Royal at 11 a.m. Cashman will take on Freeman and Chelan at noon. And at the same time, the Goats will take on Lakeside 9 Mile Falls, and the schools will switch opponents at 2 o'clock. Tedesca travels to Warden at 2, and Waterville-Mansfield will host Moses Lake Christian at 3:30. The Wenatchee Panther girls soccer team won a friendly in Cashmere last night. The Bulldogs hadn't lost a game. Well, they did last night. The Panthers blanking Cashmere 4-0. On the Les Schwab Prep girls soccer scoreboard, Ephrata edged Ellensburg. Cascade outshot Chelan in a shootout 2-1. Quincy blanked Omak. Bridgeport beat Manson. Brewster belted Liberty Bell. Lake Roosevelt. Pateras stopped Liberty Bell. And Okanagan over Oroville 9-0. Coming up tomorrow, it's Moses Lake hosting Davis at 11 a.m. Okanagan will take on Highland. That's at Lee Boftel Field at the Apple Bowl in Wenatchee at noon. Eastmont will host Sunnyside at 1. Wenatchee will welcome Kentwood at 3. And then Pateras will visit Manson at 6. Football. Top-ranked Eastmont travels to Yakima, the gateway to Wapato. They'll take on Eisenhower tonight. In Big 9 football, Wildcats undefeated, 7-0. They beat Skyline last Friday, 21-3. And Coach Michael Don said it was a good test for the Eastmont Wildcats.
Haven't had a chance to see where we stack up against West Side teams, before the playoffs start. And I thought that was really good for our kids to go out and prove to themselves that they belong at that level. You know, that's a good football team who's played in a lot of big football games this year. You know, they've been in close games and beaten top 10 type teams, and that was really good for us.
Eisenhower is 2-3 in conference, 2-5 overall. Now the Wildcats have a huge game next Friday against Moses Lake. Coach Don says first things first, we got to play Ike.
Big thing has been just talking about Ike. That's what we've tried to focus on as a staff, is focusing on Ike with the kids. And the big thing this week is you can't lie to them. You can't sugarcoat it. We can't sit there and try to tell them anything different than what we see on film, but we've told the kids that our goal is to focus on ourselves and be the best we can be this week and take care of business the way we think we're capable of, and that's what we're trying to do.
Big part of Eastmont's success this year, defense. Coach Don says there are 2 big guys up front on the defensive line that are really good.
You know, Connor Praser, Skylar Bryant, they've had good careers for us. Skylar might be one of the most athletic kids we have overall. He runs well. He runs the same kind of 40 time as some of our skill kids, but he's so physical up front and does a good job at DN for us, just kind of containing the field, makes you guys stay inside.
Your coach tells us that he thinks you're one of the most athletic guys he's got on the team. What do you know that, or is that kind of music to your ears?
You know, it's been said before, like coaches have said it, but yeah, I know it, yeah.
He knows it.
Connor's just a big presence. You know, he's pretty athletic for how big he is, and this year he's done a better job of staying on the field as far as his being in shape and making plays. And when he's on the field, he makes a big difference. He makes a lot of big plays.
Defensively, what you guys have been able to do so far, especially coming off that 21-3 shutdown of Skyline, that's pretty big.
That is a big shut, yeah. It really does help that we make some big stops when we need it, definitely down in the goal line. Not letting people get in, like, it's just really a mentality of we're just not going to let you win. Like, holding people down there is really big for us, and we know it hurts their mentality and only raises ours.
Yeah. Talk about, okay, you guys are ranked number 1. Yeah. RPI's out, you guys are ranked number 1. Does that matter?
I mean, people are talking about it. I mean, talking us up, yeah, but we're not going to let that affect us.
Okay. All right. How do you guys concentrate on Ike when, I mean, you guys should beat these guys, and not think about next week in Moses Lake?
You know, it's tough. It's tough not to go out there and, like, look at some Moses Lake plays, Moses Lake film, but I think we're pretty good. Like, we're really focused on Ike as of right now. We're not looking past Ike at all yet.
The big thing for Eastmont, and you guys know this, you guys have played here for, I mean, since your freshman year, right? You guys were both playing. Getting past that West Side team in the playoffs, getting past that first round and things like that. Is that, like, key for you guys to get there?
I think it definitely is. We're definitely all in a different mindset now. We're a little bit more locked in. Not more than we have been before, but, like, we're getting better every week, and that's what matters.
What about that for you, and not just getting past, but I know you want to win a state championship. Does beating Skyline, does that tell you guys internally, okay, we can do this?
Oh, yeah, of course, definitely. They're a great West Side team. It was a good challenge for us. And, yeah, that win just, I feel like we're in playoff mode and we could take on any West Side team at this moment.
Wildcats and Cadets at Zeffel Stadium in Yakima. They'll kick off at 7 o'clock. The game we have tonight, right here on the NCAA Live channel, the Panthers and the Sunnyside Grizzlies. Wenatchee's coming off a 28-14 win at Davis last Friday. Senior center and nose guard Calvin Bishop says that victory last Friday gives the Panthers a lot of confidence.
I mean, it really helps. I mean, there have been a lot of games this year where we just haven't played our best, and we've never really been known to be a second half team. So pulling it together in the second half is a huge deal for us.
And you still have something to play for, right? I mean, you still got a chance for that crossover game to mean something.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, having that chance, especially in my senior year, is a really cool thing.
So
Sunnyside got crushed last Friday by Moses Lake, and Coach Scott Devereaux says, well, Sunnyside is different from Davis.
They mix it up and they bring it a lot. You know, they're going to bring 5 or 6 guys every play. And depending on who they play, you know, when they played Eastmont, they basically had 8 in the box. And with us, we're expecting 6 and a lot of movement. You know, we got to get the ball out quick and we need to run the ball successfully. You know, 4-yard gain is a win when you play a team like this. And getting outside, they've given up some yards on the outside run versus what we've seen on film. So, you know, and offensively, they got some really good receivers, And one guy's, you know, going to Air Force Academy on a scholarship, and he's probably the best in the league right now. And we've got to keep those guys in front of us and play with our coverage a little bit and do some things late, just before the snap, to hopefully bait the quarterback.
Bishop says the variety of defensive fronts that Sunnyside uses has made for a long practice this week.
We've changed up a lot in our schemes this week. We've tried really hard to get all the newbies to understand what we're doing, and a lot of reps, a lot of hard work, a lot of mental reps especially.
Yeah.
So.
Well, and that's also important for your scout team to come out and kind of give you a good look, because, I mean, you can get pretty wide-eyed if you're a sophomore out there playing offensive line and suddenly guys are jumping all over the place.
Yeah, Sunnyside has been known to do that, and it's hard for our scout team to keep up with all that, but they've been doing a really good job this week at keeping us up to date.
Sunnyside's quarterback is a gentleman by the name of Ethan Avalos. He is really good. He's thrown for 1,600 yards this season and 17 touchdowns. Needless to say, he is a handful.
The quarterback doesn't hold the ball very long at all. It's out pretty quick, and a lot of RPOs and a lot of screens. Get the ball to their fast guys and let them just do their thing. And so pressure will be tough. We'll pick and choose when we can.
Sure.
And but top of our coverage, or top of our defense, needs to be very sound.
Panthers and the Grizzlies, they'll tee it up at 7 o'clock. Leave off the field at the Apple Bowl. It is homecoming for you Panther alumni. Grant, Brandon, and Eric with the call pregame at 6:30. Also in the Big Nine tonight, at second-rate Moses Lake will host West Valley, and Davis has a non-leaguer at Ridgeline in Spokane. Prosser scored the go-ahead touchdown with just over 3 minutes to play. They held on, beat Ephrata last night 28-21. That means the Mustangs still have a shot at making the postseason. They're used to that. Coming up tonight in CWAC, it's Kelso visiting Othello. The 7 o'clock games have East Valley at Ellensburg, and Grandview will host Sela. Cashmere will go for its 9th straight win in the Battle of the Bronze Shoe. They'll be in Chelan tonight in Caribou Trail League play. It's Quincy hosting Medical Lake, and non-league action in Cascade will visit Omak. The Bees, Okanagan is at Manson. Excuse me. Lake Roosevelt will play at Lind, Ritzville, Sprague, Crosby, Stills, Nash, and Young. Brewster will host Tonasket. Aniak visits Bridgeport. Pateris is at Soap Lake. Tomorrow, it's a battle for the league championship. Waterville Mansfield will host Moses Lake Christian at 6 o'clock. All right, college football. Oh, let me tell you about the college football. You got Washington State trying to recover from that shellacking at Arizona. They'll take on number 9 Oregon tomorrow. That'll be in Eugene, 12:30 on the American Broadcasting Company. Eastern Washington hosts Weber State at 4 on ESPN+. Central Washington's not on TV, but they are at home. They'll take on West Texas A&M at 6, and the 5th-ranked Washington Huskies will host Arizona State tomorrow night. Husky Stadium, 7:30 on FS1. Our local professional football team are known as the Seahawks. You may have heard of them. They'll take on the Cardinals at Lumen Field Sunday, kickoff, 1:05 on Fox. The Kraken scored 7 times from 7 different players. They finally won a game. They beat Carolina at Climate Pledge Arena 7-4. The Rangers come to town tomorrow night at 7 o'clock. That'll be on Root Sports Northwest. After the longest road trip of the season, I hope they even know where they play at. The Wenatchee Wild finally returned home this weekend. The Vancouver Giants in town at 7 o'clock tonight. That is in a Western Hockey League play. And then a non-leaguer against the Brandon Wheat Kings tomorrow at 6. Get tickets online at WenatcheeWildHockey.com. Houston blasted Texas 10-3. The American League Championship Series is now tied at 2 games apiece. Jose Altuve 3 for 4 and 3 runs. Jose Abreu went deep. Jordan Alvarez 3 runs for the Astros. Game 5 this afternoon, 2:07 on FS1. Former Mariners shine for Arizona in the National League Championship Series last night. Paul Sewald, do you remember him? He held the Phillies in check at the top of the 9th inning, and Ketel Marte hit the walk-off game-winning RBI base hit in the bottom of the 9th. Diamondbacks win it 2-1. Game 4 of that series tonight, 5:07 on TBS, and those are just some of the games that people are playing on this 20th day of October. Happy International Sloth Day today. The sloth. We love the sloth. The sloth is an interesting animal, to say the least. They are native to the rainforests in Central and South America. They are known to be rather slow. In fact, their metabolisms are so slow that they only have to go to the bathroom like once a week. That's it. Sometimes twice. That's it. That's all they got to do. Sloths spend about 90% of their time hanging upside down. Their hair grows in the opposite direction of most mammals. Who knew that? Of course, there are threats to sloths. Number 1, deforestation. They keep cutting down their homes without their permission. Sloths travel 3 times faster in the water than they do on land. In fact, they can hold their breath for 40 minutes, and they use their tummy to float. That's pretty darn good. What do they eat? Buds, leaves, and shoots. And it takes their stomachs about a month to digest what they ate. Happy Sloth Day today. It is the bottom of the hour. Today in history, 205 years ago today, the Convention of 1818 was signed, United States and the United Kingdom. We have to figure out what the northern border is going to be between Canada and the United States. They decided the 49th parallel all the way from the Great Lakes all the way through to the Puget Sound area. And then it was all said and done, they went back and they looked at the map and they went, poop. They forgot about Point Roberts, that strange little part of British Columbia that pokes down just below the 49th parallel, so it is technically a part of the United States, technically part of Washington State. About 1,000 people live in Point Roberts year-round. Of course, 80% of its business comes from Canada. Point Roberts. They had a chance about 50 years ago. They floated an initiative. This is kind of silly, this weird geographical protuberance. Residents of Point Roberts, do you just want to become Canadians so we don't have to worry about this anymore? And they said, no, we'll stick with America. Point Roberts. It is an odd little place, and it's ours. This is the 72nd anniversary of what became known as the Johnny Bright incident, a football game between Drake University and what was at the time Oklahoma A&M, which is now Oklahoma State University. As we roll the footage, you're going to go, whoa. You're not going to like what you're about ready to see. Johnny Bright was an African-American football player and also the best football player on Drake University. And it was no secret that they were going to knock Johnny Bright out of the game. Oklahoma A&M was one way or another. The Daily Collegian, which was the student newspaper at Oklahoma A&M, they said, we're going to knock him out. The local newspaper in Stillwater, the News Press, said before the game, said, Johnny Bright, you're a marked man. They said you're not going to be around at the end of the game. And they went out and did what they said they were going to do. The series of photos that was taken as they broke Johnny Bright's jaw, everybody knew it was going to happen, so all the photographers and all the filmers simply were focusing on Johnny Bright, and the series of photographs ended up winning the Pulitzer Prize for the photographer. After it was all said and done, by the way, Oklahoma A&M won, because if you break the starting quarterback's jaw and he's out, you're going to win. The president of Oklahoma A&M, Oliver Wilhelm, said nothing happened. Nothing happened. Nothing to see here, even though it was published, the film and the photos were published nationwide. He said, no, nothing happened. They covered the whole thing up. That was in 1951. In 2005, 21 years after Johnny Bright died, Oklahoma A&M, now Oklahoma State, formally apologized to Drake University. The Johnny Bright incident, 72 years ago today. 50 years ago today, the Attorney General of the United States, Elliot Richardson, had hired Archibald Cox to investigate Watergate. And Archibald Cox said, okay, I'll investigate Watergate. And he issued subpoenas and brought in witnesses, had a grand jury, and Richard Nixon said, whoa, wait a minute. Wait a minute, Elliot Richardson. I know you brought in Archibald Cox. He's not supposed to investigate anything. This is all just window dressing. Tell him to stop. Stop issuing subpoenas. Close up the office. The Watergate investigation is over. Elliot Richardson said, I ain't going to do that, Richard Nixon. He's making progress. You told him to investigate. I told him to investigate. And finally, on the evening of Saturday night, October 20th, 1973, Richard Nixon just fired the whole shebang. NBC News.
The Tonight Show will not be seen tonight, so that we may bring you the following NBC News special report.
Some things I feel very deeply about are at stake, and I hope that I can explain and defend them steadfastly.
Good evening. The country tonight is in the midst of what may be the most serious constitutional crisis in its history. The president has fired the man you just saw, the special Watergate prosecutor, Archibald Cox, and he has sent FBI agents to the office of the special prosecution staff and to the Attorney General and the Deputy Attorney General, and the president has ordered the FBI to seal off those offices. Because of the president's action, the Attorney General has resigned. Elliot Richardson, who was appointed Attorney General only last May in the midst of the Watergate scandals, has quit saying he cannot carry out Mr. Nixon's instructions. Richardson's deputy, William Ruckelshaus, has been fired. Ruckelshaus refused, in a moment of constitutional drama, to obey a presidential order to fire the special Watergate prosecutor. So here is where we stand. The president has offered a compromise designed to circumvent a court order which would have required him to turn over the secret tapes to a federal judge. He has lost his attorney general in a dramatic resignation. Mr. Nixon then tried to get the deputy attorney general to fire the special Watergate prosecutor, and when the deputy attorney general wouldn't do it, he was fired. Then Mr. Nixon got the Solicitor General to do the job and named him the acting head of the Justice Department. And half an hour after the special Watergate prosecutor had been fired, agents of the FBI, acting at the direction of the White House, sealed off the offices of the special prosecutor, the offices of the Attorney General, and the offices of the Deputy Attorney General. That's a stunning development, and nothing even remotely like it has happened in all of our history.
And when you get on an airplane, private charter plane, commercial plane, crop duster, you assume you have enough gas to get to where you're going to go. October 20th, 1977, Roddy Van Zant, Steve Gaines, Cassie Gaines, their road manager, Dean Kilpatrick, and both pilots killed when their rented plane ran out of gas and crashed into a swamp in Gillsburg, Mississippi. The rest of the band survived, but almost all of them were either seriously or critically injured. They ran out of gas. Birthdays. A lot of people still consider him the greatest baseball player ever. He's certainly the greatest switch hitter ever. Mickey Charles Mantle, born in the state in 1931, died in 1995 at the age of 63, the legendary Mickey Mantle, born in the state. Probably the most famous member of the Law and Order cast, Jerry Orbach, born in the state in 1935. We lost Jerry 19 years ago at the age of 69. Of course, Lenny Briscoe on Law and Order. Whenever it's on, I have a tendency to watch. Tom Petty was born 73 years ago today. We lost Tom back in 2017. He is in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And a couple of living legends. Calvin Broadus. Happy birthday, Cal. Snoop Dogg is 52. Somebody should probably tell him. And happy birthday to John Krasinski, who of course played Jim Halpert in The Office, and now he's making movies and making them good. He's 44 years old today. Going to take a break. Got an opinion from Mad Dog United. The big event is tomorrow. It starts at 11 a.m. It is the second annual Apple Valley Record Expo. Joel Myrene, my guest. When we come back, you're watching Wake Up in Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life Channel.
If you're looking for the best way to buy a pre-owned Honda, look no further than Honda True. You get less to worry about and more benefits. Choose from 3 different tiers with up to 10 model years of Honda vehicles, inspected by a Honda-trained technician. Discover why Honda True means less compromise and more of what you love about Honda.
Apple Valley Honda, your local Honda dealer in East Wenatchee.
At Local Myth Pizza, we believe in real food, freshly prepared with only premium ingredients. Our cheeses are imported from Italy. Our sauces, dressings, and even our sausages are made in-house fresh daily. Featuring Northwest craft beers and 30 Chelan Valley wines and ciders. Family fun and amazing food. Eat local, drink local, and be local at Local Myth Pizza.
Come see why Sunset Magazine says you can't beat Local Myth Pizza.
Check out ClubCrowCashmere.com for upcoming events and tickets.
Most of us are in touch with the internet in one way or another all day long. A fast, secure connection matters. It keeps us entertained, informed, and in touch. Localtel cares about your connection. We know strong, reliable internet with your choice of speed makes life better. If you need fast, reliable internet, or maybe an upgrade, or you just have questions, Connect with us by visiting localtel.com or call 509-888-8888 today.
Hey, this is Mike Mad Dog McNally. Everybody's entitled to my opinion when someone mentions white male privilege. Us white guys got our panties in a pucker. What privilege, we say? I work for everything I have. Well, the privilege we're talking about here is not something we had to earn. And also, truly, it's not something that we're deliberately trying to take from someone else. It's just the benefit that society gives us because of our maleness and the color of our skin. Now, I'm sorry, let's face it. I have accomplished some things in my life due to hard work, education, responsibility, etc. There's no denying that. But I also have to admit that I may not have had the same payoffs for that hard work and responsibility or the same opportunities I've had if I had been female, Hispanic, black, what have you. Now, is there any shame in admitting that? No, of course not. And admitting it doesn't negate my hard work and responsibility. But denying I've had this privilege, well, that smacks of social injustice and a denial of the unfairness of life that has been unfair in my favor and at someone else's expense. This is Mike Mad Dog McNally, and that's my opinion.
Have you been to Boswell's Furniture lately?
Yes, Boswell's has an expansive 2-story showroom filled with so many great choices for our living room, dining room, and bedroom.
Did you know that Boswell sells directly from their store inventory, so we wouldn't have to wait to get our new furniture?
Yes, plus Boswell's has free local delivery and complimentary design service to help us with the layout and fabric choices.
No waiting and amazing customer service. I mean, why would we go anywhere else?
Boswell's on Easy Street. It's closer than you think.
When Mike leaves town, it's a little scary. You never know who might be outside. But we feel safer inside knowing our home is being monitored by a local company. I can check our alarm from just about anywhere. So when we get home, I know it's safe.
Protect your family and save money with a local company. Switch your current security monitoring to Guardian Services from LocalTel. Call Guardian Security from LocalTel now or visit localtel.net to learn more.
When your heating or cooling system is giving you trouble, call the diagnostic doctor from Dick's Heating and Air Conditioning.
Here's the culprit right here.
All joking aside, when you call Dick's, you're calling 35 years of experience at customer service right here in the Wenatchee Valley. Dick's strongly believes in repairing before replacing, and they service all major brands of HVAC units.
Campfire North Central Washington, serving youth ages 3 to 18. Register today in one of Campfire's programs. Club members meet regularly with volunteer leaders to learn responsibility, sharing, cooperation, and citizenship. When a child is involved in Campfire, they will be actively learning and engaged in activities, encouraged to learn new skills, feel a part of the group, learn to work in a team setting, participate in planning, goal setting, and making lasting memories.
Anytime you can put an annual behind it and a number 2 in front of that is good, which means the first one went well, which means there'll be a second, and then you can put second annual. And by golly, the second annual, Joel Myrene is my guest. He was on here before back in May. What the official name of this thing is?
The Apple Valley Vinyl Record Expo.
Apple Valley Vinyl Record Expo. Back in May, Joel, on a whim, said, let's see if we can get a bunch of vinyl nuts together, record people like me, and see what happens. And I would have to say the response was overwhelming. It was huge. You must have been pleased.
I was very, very happy with the response. Yeah, we sold out of vendor tables and kind of estimate there was about maybe 350 to 450 people through the door throughout the course of the day. So.
And a line out front.
There was a line out front in the beginning. Yeah. So that was really cool to see. Yeah.
For those of you who don't remember, back in May, Joel put this on at the hall at the 600 block of Chelan.
Yep.
The brick building that nobody really knows what it's there or what it is there for. Talk about the genesis of doing the first one back in May. It was just kind of a let's throw the spaghetti against the wall and see if it sticks kind of thing?
Yeah, talking to a friend that's a collector and just talking about, we used to go to shows at this IOF hall on Chelan Street and just
music shows.
Yeah, music shows.
Right.
And we would put them on there and it was such a great time and just have good memories in that building. And he's a vinyl collector, I'm a vinyl collector. And he was talking about selling some of his records and that just kind of sparked the idea.
And of course, the revival in vinyl has been well documented. It's outselling and has been outselling compact discs for a number of years. I never did give up vinyl. I have mine, and I love it. It's an integral part of my daily life, and that helps too. That the younger generation are getting into it.
Yeah, they really have. Even though streaming is probably the biggest way people consume music. Vinyl sales have overtaken CD sales at least, and so I think it's you're holding that. You got the nice artwork. It's something you put it on the record player. You got to be intentional about it, and people are drawn to it now. Yeah.
And it's a serious. I listen to albums for the most part as works of art. I will listen to the entire side one. I will turn it over and I will play side two as a continuing piece of music. It's the way I prefer to consume it, and I think that's the way that most of the artists want their music to be consumed, and that says something too.
Yeah, definitely. I also prefer listening to side A, side B, as opposed to streaming a Spotify kind of best of or you know. And I appreciate that bands still put their track order in that format sometimes too, so. Yeah.
What Joel is so delicately trying to say that I will is streaming sucks. First of all, it's compressed. They compress the crap out of it. It just sounds bad.
I agree.
But a vinyl record where you have a good stereo amplifier / receiver, a good preamp, if the case may be. Most turntables don't even have a preamp anymore. It's not even required. All you need is a line input into your amplifier, and you're good to go. The preamp is built into the turntable. Good turntable, good stylus. Can't stress that enough. And the number one mistake that people make when they get into vinyl, and I think they like it, they don't bother to see if their turntable is level. They take it out of the box, they unpack it, and they put it on there and play a record, and you got to level it. I have a special level, and I actually re-level my turntable about once every month or so. I'll double check to make, and it'll the house settles a little bit. I know it sounds like totally anal, and they also don't fine tune the fine tracking and stuff like that. This all has to be done.
Yeah, when you get a better turntable, you can fine tune all that stuff. The entry level ones, it's a little harder to do some of that, but you can work those ones a little bit. But even if you get the entry level turntable, you can still upgrade the stylus, and that's huge.
Yeah, it's worth it. First of all, the stylus is absolutely huge. I agree with you 100% on that. But it's worth the extra half an hour or so it takes. And there's all kinds of videos on how to do those specific things because you'll see the turntable. Anti-skating, what's that? The other things like that. How much weight do I put on the stylus? All of these things are terribly important. But once you get your turntable locked in, you're in business. Yeah. You're giving away a turntable, aren't you?
We are giving away a turntable this time. Free raffle ticket if you just come to the expo. You can come to the Apple Valley Vinyl Record Expo table. We'll give you a raffle ticket. At the end of the day, we'll give away an Audio-Technica LP60 turntable.
Good basic starter.
Yep. And you can upgrade the stylus, and if you decide vinyl's your thing, you can upgrade it and get a better stylus, but it's a great entry-level turntable. So
there's a company out of Portland, can't remember the name of it if you're a little nervous about the whole stylus thing. Most of the styluses that come with fairly decent turntables are good styluses, but if you really want to get into it, and they can do one of two things. They can just send you the stylus and you can install it yourself, which means you need microscopic little tools. Or you can just tell them what kind of turntable you want, what kind of stylus you want. It will already come pre-done on the head, which is a huge saving. So when you look back at May and you saw the sea of people coming into the door, you thought, why the hell didn't I charge admission? I mean, I could be making some serious dough there. It was entirely free for vendors and for attendees, and now you're going to mix things up a little bit, and this is cool. I'm all for it. Talk about some of the changes for the expo coming up in November as opposed to
in May.
What you did back in May.
So this time we'll charge $20 for a half table spot or $30 for a full table spot. And then also admission to the public is still free, 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. But if you want to, for the bigger time collectors, you can come at 10 a.m., pay $5 at the door, and get that hour early entry above everyone else, and kind of get first pick.
So for the early birds, it's $5, and you get in before anybody else. And 11 o'clock, you open the doors to the public. And the table thing is for people who are going to sell their vinyl.
Yeah.
We should point that out. How big is a half table or a full table for you, vinyl,
Half
so they know?
table will be 4 feet by 2.5 feet, and
Okay.
a full spot is big enough to bring your own table about 8 feet by 4 feet or something. So
Okay.
pretty big spots. I think it's pretty inexpensive for people that want to sell. And actually, we're going to cap it at 31 tables. We increased the capacity a little bit because we made a little more space in the hall. And I think we only have about five spots left.
Oh, that's it. And so by the time this airs, so if you want to get a table, what does one do, Joel?
You can reach out on the social media. You can direct message on Facebook or Instagram to the Apple Valley Vinyl Record Expo page.
Yeah, if you go to Facebook and type that in, pops right up.
Yep. Yeah. Or email at Apple Valley Vinyl Record Expo @gmail.com.
Do the Facebook thing. I mean, I was halfway through that, and even I got lost. You brought some cool stuff.
Yeah. So since it's getting close to winter time, we'll have beanies for sale with embroidered beanies with the Apple Valley
that's cool.
Vinyl Record Expo.
Boy, this is not big and thick.
Yeah,
very comfortable.
So we'll have those for sale. We have T-shirts at the Apple Valley table too. I should note we'll also have some people selling record players there too at the expo this time.
Right.
And as well as like vinyl records and CDs.
Will they be playing some of the records there? Like, hey, what's the genre here? Can I hear a track or two? Is that doable?
I think
bring your own set of headphones or something like that.
Some people will have record players at their tables, maybe a few. I did have a listening station last time, and one person used it. So I'm not sure
what's
if
the
I'm going
point
to do
there?
that again. But if they want to, they can always put it on the turntable that I'll have that's playing music there, so they can check out a record that way. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what else you got?
So
some more classic stuff. Oh, this is the featured record.
Yeah, this will be the featured record.
Here, I'll hold this and you talk.
This is from a band called Dryland from Bellingham that are friends of mine, and the artwork is done by Logan McQuaig, who's from Wenatchee. Super talented artist and very talented at everything he does, actually.
Only 4 songs on the record?
4 songs on that record. They do have a new record coming out actually in about a month.
Okay.
So the vinyl for the new one wouldn't be quite done in time. So
I understand completely.
But that band, this has an interesting tie-in because this is our featured record, being Dryland, but they're going to play a show at the Oddfellows Hall, the first show there in 22 years, Saturday, November 11th.
And you're part of bringing them on board?
Yep, it's going to be Dryland from Bellingham, Datura from Wenatchee, and the band I'm really excited about is a band of 9th graders called Icarus. And so this is kind of the reason I'm doing that show, is to give the younger band a place to showcase their music and play it in front of their peers, and they're the reason I'm doing this.
9th grade is not too early to get into that thing as well. You brought some more of your classic posters from the old days?
Yeah.
Flyers and stuff?
So we'll put up posters at the hall. I might do it in 1 or 2 sections because last time they were kind of spread out and weren't as easy to see. So I'm going to have maybe a couple walls where these are all showcased, and they're going to be music posters from concerts dating back from the 50s. From all over North Central Washington.
Some of these groups I actually even remember.
Oh, yeah.
Some of the decades I don't remember, but I remember the groups. And that's a nice touch. That's a nice thing to do.
Yeah.
Have that.
Trying to make it like
other cool stuff. So your vendors are probably pretty happy, right?
Yeah.
I mean, most of them are coming back, I suppose.
Yeah, most of the ones from a lot of the ones from the first one that didn't sell most of their stock are coming back if they're able to, and then a lot of new vendors too, because we increased capacity a little bit. So, people from Wenatchee area, the North Country, Portland, Twisp, the west side of the mountains too. So all over.
If you're looking to buy, we'll get all the where it's at and the times and the dates real quick. If you're looking to buy, bring a bag. You don't want to be walking around downtown Wenatchee with a bunch of records. It ain't easy. So bring a bag that's going to hold as many records as you think you're going to buy, and I remember that. And I'm guessing cash transactions. Yeah,
it'll be depending on the vendor. I know at my table I can take card, cash, check. It'll just vary, but I think most of the people are probably cash. Some will do Square. They'll take credit cards via Square, or
but
some people take Venmo.
The no-brainer is just if you bring cash, everybody's going to take cash.
That's the easiest.
So give us the rundown again, the time, the location, all that good stuff. So
yep. It'll be Saturday, October 21st at the IOOF Hall at 601 North Chelan. It'll be 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. is $5 early entry. 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. is free to the public. And we'll also have a coffee vendor there. Aloha Dreams Mobile Espresso will be there, and she'll be serving up coffee and treats.
Aren't you glad you kind of stumbled on this? It's funny. It's just two guys sitting around talking, and the next thing you know, you got this going on.
I know. Usually I think it was a Facebook Messenger conversation, and it was one of the few times I've had a useful time using Facebook, instead of a complete waste of time that it usually is.
If there's a certain record that you had as a kid that you can't find anymore, and you see it on eBay or Discogs and it costs way too much money, you never know what you're going to stumble across. And a lot of these record collectors, the vendors I'm talking about who are going to be there, are genre specific.
Yeah.
If you're into electric Chicago blues from the 50s and 60s, there's probably going to be somebody there, that's what they have. Or folk music or rock and roll from the 70s. This guy's a rocker from the 70s and the 80s. Whatever it may be, the odds are pretty good there's a genre with your name on it.
Yeah, especially, one of the sponsors is Road Trip Records from Ellensburg, and it's Mark Pickrell runs it, and he was in the band The Screaming Trees that were contemporaries of Nirvana, and so his record collection that he comes with is phenomenal, and he's going to be one of the sponsors along with like the Comet magazine and Time Capsule. But you're completely right. It's every table is different. Just bring in such a wide variety of stuff. So
and a lot of independent pressings. They only did 400 or 500 copies, and that was it. And before you know it, those 400 and 500 copies become 50, become 7, and then everybody wants them.
Yeah. So I think it's I'm expecting it to be full this time too. So and like I said, a lot of new stock. So. Yeah.
Again, if you want to be a vendor, there's only 5 tables left, and you got to get a hold of Joel. Go to the Facebook page. Don't do the Gmail address, because by the time you type it in, you'll forget why you were doing it. Joel, you going to see me one more time before the big show?
Sure.
All right. Yeah. Joel Myrene, everybody. You don't want this guy calling you on Monday morning, which means they did something to you at the hospital on Friday afternoon. We'll be right back.
In today's environment, risk management assessment is a crucial process for your business. Risk assessment will identify, evaluate, and mitigate hazards. Don't let risk impact your business income, reputation, operations, and your overall success. We can give you peace of mind by transferring your business risks to the insurance providers. Call Stacy at August Edge Insurance today to schedule a risk management assessment for your business.
Hey folks, Lehman here with Crown Furniture and Mattress. Folks, there's no question if you're looking for top quality furniture and mattresses, Crown Furniture and Mattress is the place for you. Whether it's Flex Steel's patented blue steel spring, Englander's 120 years of innovation, or Stan's incredible comfort. Folks, we have it all. So stop by and see us today at 736 South Wenatchee Avenue.
Beautiful Friday morning, even though the sun's only been up for about a half an hour. Lots of sunshine today. It is looking good for one more day. I hope you had a chance to go out and enjoy this week. It's been gorgeous, because who knows when this is going to happen again. From the National Weather Service, we're at the very top of an upper level ridge. The ridge is actually centered around the Oregon-California border, but it's given us this sunny and warm weather. Now, our forecast high today of 69, our record high is 70 on this date, set back in 2013. I think we may break that record. I think we have a good chance of doing that anyway. I wouldn't be surprised. Clouds will begin to roll in tonight, 51 for the overnight low, still very mild. Now keep in mind, as you look at the afternoon high today and Saturday, our normal afternoon high is 59. We're going to be around 70 today and around 70 on Saturday. The only difference between today and tomorrow is we'll have quite a bit of clouds, high to mid-level clouds. High to mid-level clouds continue on Sunday. Monday, kind of a holding pattern, and then big change in the weather come Tuesday. Have a great weekend. We will see you Monday. Take care. Bye-bye.
Hello, North Central Washington, and welcome to another episode of Networked. I'm your host, Jenny Rojanasatian, Executive Director of NCW Tech Alliance, where we use this TV show to spotlight innovative minds in our region. Today, I'm really privileged to meet with a local entrepreneur, Edwin Eaton, owner and founder of iPro Building Services, who's been reshaping the janitorial industry with his unique blend of leadership and vision. Edwin began his journey in 2002 during his college years when he found himself involved with a friend's cleaning company. It was an unconventional start,